everyone had to come out. You know, that experience is so universal. Being gay is not a choice, but coming out is opting in. You have to opt in and you have to take that leap. And it's absolutely terrifying. The pride flags start coming out on the street and you see a neighbor who you've never met, but they've hung a rainbow flag outside their house. You see that symbol there and you don't have to know anything about that person to know that they're in some small way on your side. In some small way, they are supporting you and they don't even know you. And that's so beautiful. Someone who maybe hasn't come out yet and isn't yet part of the community, they see it too. It's a visible, tangible, visceral representation of the support that they could have. It's hopeful, it's uplifting, it's beautiful, and it's really important that we have it.
I am queer like all the time, like every day. It's not just in June. This year's, I feel like I've had corporations shoving pride down my throat a little bit. It's those moments that Mitchell was talking about where, you know, you see someone wearing a pride shirt or putting up a pride flag and it kind of has that like, that's a form of allyship, just like showing like, hey, I'm a safe space. We make sure that it's not just June that our group feels supported because we exist every day. It's important to celebrate it year round, but definitely Pride Month has that just like little edge of community. I'm grateful to have the pride that we're going to be able to have this year. I've talked to so many friends when they were realizing their queerness, I couldn't even say gay. I couldn't even think it, let alone say it out loud. And now I'm dressing up, so it gets better.
It does.
My pronouns are huge right now and I really love it, but I want to make sure I am being as respectful as possible without making any assumptions.
With pronouns, things are constantly changing. There's new verbiage. I always do the default of like referring to someone as they, them. It's not really about me. But like as far as with me in drag, I'm pronoun inclusive in the sense of like, call me whatever. Just don't hurt my feelings because then I'll probably make you cry.
It requires visibility. It requires practice. It requires admitting when you were wrong, when you made a mistake, you misgendered someone or assigned someone the wrong pronoun. You apologize and you move on. It's about respect. Try and understand where they're coming from and how they want to live their life and how they want to be seen, how they want to be spoken to. If you approach it with respect, you're always going to be given grace from a person. It's when you refuse to acknowledge someone's preferred pronouns. It's not too hard. You're just unwilling to try.
How do you feel when people assume your sexuality?
I felt worse about it before I had accepted it myself. I used to feel it was my biggest fear, was people knowing that about me. And people did know it about me, and the voice has something to do with it, and that's something a lot of gay men struggle with. They are outed by their own voice, mannerisms, hobbies, that kind of stuff. So it used to scare the crap out of me. I was horrified when other kids would call me gay, and it was the most damaging thing for my mental health there was. These days though, I'm so comfortable with my sexuality that I don't try and hide my voice. I don't butch it up. I don't try and make my voice deeper. So it doesn't hurt me like it used to, but it did for a long time but I think that was more my own fear of my sexuality and not the fact that they had assumed it.
And as a young queer kid, trying to just like go through the same thing everyone else does, like adolescence, middle school. God, middle school sucks. That's whenever you're going through puberty and then they make you go to school with other kids going through puberty.
You're at your most insecure. Every one of your insecurities is exacerbated and everyone's going through that, but I tend to think being queer made it harder for me than anyone else, but that's probably not true. It was awful. That's when your voice starts to change and you start to feel your sexuality kind of bubbling to the surface in a more tangible way than when you're young and innocent and you can't act on it like your peers are. So you're faced with the choice of being yourself, which in my world was not an option, or pretending like you're not feeling sexual feelings at all, which made you lame. So then you fake it. You fake it and pretend like this is fine. I can do this. I can fake it. I can make my voice deeper.
And it hurts you even more down the road. you don't quite realize. Muting yourself in that way, especially in such a developmental period of your life. For me, like I lost out on opportunities of being able to pursue like doing some acting and doing theater because I was super skinny and relatively effeminate, very manicured. Instead of like actually leaning and doing things I wanted to do, I didn't. And like being now an adult, I'm like, I wish I had not listened to everyone else.
Did you have straight sex before you came out?
No.
Working something out over here. It was what it was. It was what I thought I was supposed to do at the time. It's what my peers were doing. Didn't feel like I had to do it. I didn't feel like I was forced to do it, but it was a choice I made. Having sex does not make you a certain sexuality. Just because I had straight sex does not mean I was straight at any point. You can be gay and not have had gay sex. But it does not define your sexuality. Sexuality is what you want to do and not what you're doing.
And I did not have sex with a woman. I had plenty of girlfriends, but that was because I always dated the really, really pretty, hyper feminine women that I ideally like loved what they looked like, but I never wanted to be with them. And then I've only had like sex with men. It's what my body told me.
It's enough of a battle to even just put on shorter shorts in a place where I don't know the local mentality is towards it. It's nothing about Costa Rica. It's more about when I traveled there, I did definitely mute myself because I was in a foreign environment and I didn't know how I'd be received.
In discovering yourself, you're just as a human, you're constantly navigating social circles and you see people that you admire and they're exuding things that you want to exude, and so you start to try to adopt those characteristics or those mannerisms and wanting so badly to just be straight and like have that not be a thing. In high school, like I tried to copy things that the straight football boys were doing, and I was like, this is not me. But also in college, even after coming out, when I was like, I'm out, I'm great, I'm so happy. When I came out, it was like, oh, like cool. Like I was maybe one of the first gay people that my friends met. It was always like, you're cool, like you're not like too gay.
Ooh.
And like I didn't realize at the time, it was like, I'm doing it, I'm fitting in, and I'm still being me. And looking back, like it was so damaging to be told you're not too gay. And
you're acceptable.
Yeah, you're acceptable.
You're gay, but still acceptable.
You're acceptable, and it's like, what the hell does that even mean?
Yeah.
I remember when I went and did aesthetic school post-college, one of my friends from college said something like, oh, you're not gonna like start layering makeup or anything, right? And I like deep down knew like drag would be fun and I liked it. And I like held off from even experimenting or trying it just because of that simple, stupid little comment that it sits with me. And then I discovered I was queer and then trying to mute those mannerisms, and a lot of my unlearning is being so hard on myself, trying to mask who I actually am. Growing up, it was always skin. The sense of control. We just made a breakthrough, everyone.
Circle moment.
My control comes from the fact that I was constantly trying to figure out what was making me break out and why I was having such reactions. So I was always controlling what I was eating.
Because food is something you can control.
Food was something I could control. Definitely a demon from my past. But I'd say something that I would want to change. I don't know. I really dig myself now.
Fuck yes.
Yeah, I am very proud of the community I've built around myself. I feel like I've spent a long time trying to figure out who I am. And I've done that by surrounding myself with people that love me, respect me, give me the space to be whoever I'm going to be, support me, challenge me. And that's been a journey, you know? I love lots of people, but not everyone is going to be the person you necessarily need in any given moment of your life. And you need to be able to tell the difference between who is your person and who is just a person. I'm very proud of the group of friends I've built for myself, and I couldn't love them anymore. I feel so supported.
To me, community is queer culture. It's all we had. We are really lucky to be queer in this time, because back in like early 2000s, there wasn't this community. There wasn't this awareness behind queerness, and there wasn't a spotlight on queer artists and celebrities and just people in general that are queer and not having to be a thing, but it still is present and it's seen.